You are listening to African Father in America podcast by Simon Javan Okello, live from Seattle, Washington, USA.
Thank you so much for joining me for another incredible session here of the African Father in America podcast. My name is Simon Javan Okello, and I am here with a really special guest, Celine Brozovic, who is joining me here in just a second for our conversation today for the African Father in America podcast. We are taking a virtual journey all the way to Hausa in northern Nigeria, and our proverb says that by crawling a child learns how to stand. By crawling a child learns how to stand. So Celine is an incredible leader. We are going to learn so much about the work that she's doing as a founder and also as a team optimizer. But for now, I'll start with the 3 nuggets of wisdom related to today's proverb, and then you will hear what Celine thinks about this proverb, her own interpretation of it. So the first nugget of wisdom, actually before I say that, I just want to thank you all for joining us for today's conversation, especially those on YouTube. Make sure you subscribe to the channel and also make sure you give this video a thumbs up. And for those joining us on Clubhouse, thank you so much. Also make sure you share the room and make sure you ping in 1 to 3 friends to join us for today's conversation. So the first nugget of wisdom says that take one step at a time. Small steps are better than no steps. Number 2, learn from experience. Learning through experience is an essential part of growth. And then number 3, persevere. Even when things are challenging and difficult, we must stay focused and know that our goals that we already set our minds to, unless we focus on accomplishing them, no one else will really do it for us. So I want to now invite you, Celine, to just speak. First of all, I want you to share a little bit more about yourself. You're a leader that I connected with during the pandemic, and you are one of the people here in the Pacific Northwest that I really look up to in the African community. And I want you to just paint a picture of, number one, the kind of work that you do. Just briefly introduce yourself and then talk about this proverb, by crawling a child learns how to stand. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Simon, and bonjour to all the French-speaking French-speaking listeners out there. So I'm Celine. I have a background in engineering and work in telecommunication and healthcare IT for more than 25 years in the US. After experiencing mental and physical collapse, I left the field of high tech to work in lifestyle medicine. My passion, and I have made it my mission and my passion, to help people live a better life, take control of their physical and mental health so that they can achieve their God-given potential. And I love the 3 nuggets that Simon shared, which is small steps, which is so in line with what I am going to share with you about what to do. Learn from experience. So every single good things that you're going to make, you're going to keep it, because whatever transformation you're going to start has to be sustainable. So you have to learn from experience. And then perseverance. Keep on going. Remember, what we do in lifestyle medicine is not something for quick results. It's for your entire lifestyle, your entire life journey. So you have to persevere. So what do I think about the proverb? By crawling, a child learn how to walk. to stand, to walk. Beautiful. It means so much. Number one, let's look at why is the child crawling? The child is crawling to experience life around him or her. A child is crawling to have some freedom, some independence. And it's a major undertaking for a child. A few a few children won't crawl, they will just stand up. But the majority, you cannot stand unless you crawl. And to do that, you need to have strong neck and a strong head to do that. And it is part of the life journey. Let's crawl first, then we can stand and stand tall. Let's desire to experience the world around us. But we're not going through it running. We have to take those small steps. This is what I like about that proverb.
Exactly. You know, I love how in your line of work, currently, what you're dedicating your life to, there is no shortcuts, you know, and also in what this proverb is teaching us, there is also no shortcut, you know, you have to first learn how to crawl, you know, before you can walk. But in crawling, a child learns how to stand and then walk and then run, you know. So I just love that so much. I want to thank everyone who is joining us. I see you, Brother Earth. Thank you so much for your continued support. We are live on YouTube. If you are watching the show on YouTube, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Leave us with your comment there so that we know that you are with us. And also make sure you like the video. Give this video a thumbs up. That's one of the ways, or those are some of the ways that you can support this incredible show. Now, my special guest, Celine Brozovic, is an incredible leader, as I was saying earlier, with over 25 plus years in the telecommunications and healthcare IT field. And, you know, one of the things that I ask all my guests that join me for the African Father in America podcast is that a story from your childhood. I love storytelling, and I share with many of my guests my own story of how when I was about 8 years old, my mother gave me a bicycle, and I began distributing milk and bread in our neighborhood, and how that experience has led to who I am today in so many different ways. So I want to invite you, Celine, to also speak about a similar story that really drives who you are today. Whenever you look back today, you can see that this specific moment in my upbringing is really what continues to motivate me today. And I also just want to welcome Simply E, who just joined us on the Clubhouse side. Thank you so much.
Okay, so I will share. I have so many stories that goes with the line of work that I do, but I'll share the one on baking. So as when we're growing up, usually starting age 8, 9, 10, our older sisters start teaching us how to bake, to make cakes. And for some reason, um, I couldn't do that because of white sugar. The mere fact of taking white sugar and putting it to something, I had a repulsion. I couldn't do it. So for that reason, I don't know how to bake. And it's coming forward. It's been actually very good that I don't do white sugar, because white sugar is the enemy number one for our health. And when I do my work here, the first thing that I tackle is how to help people get rid of white sugar, white processed sugar into their nutrition. So I recall that there was something, and even until today, if I have to take white sugar to put in something, there is something inside my entire body that goes like, ew. So I didn't eat much sweet. And it made it easier for me actually when I started the transition to a healthier lifestyle, because regardless of the school of thoughts you believe in, white sugar is the enemy number one, the thing that you have to get rid of in your nutrition.
That's incredible. I didn't know that Cameroon. You're from Cameroon originally,
Cote
Celine.
d'Ivoire.
Right? Cote d'Ivoire. Ah, so then I didn't know that in Cote d'Ivoire, baking sweets is something that young girls learn from a very young age. I
Well,
didn't know
it's
that.
not typical in everywhere. It was my sisters, the big sisters, were older and they were in boarding school, so they must have learned that in boarding school. And one of the things that they will do was they'll teach us. The thing that you know how big sisters are, they come and they play mummies and stuff, and it was part of the thing, to try to teach us how to bake. And I never learned how to bake because I couldn't do the white sugar.
Right. It's amazing. It's amazing. And I always love learning about different parts of Africa and different stories, particularly. And really, this is the first time I'm having a guest with Cote d'Ivoire or Ivorian, right?
Yes.
Ivorian roots. Yeah. Now, I just want to let Simply E and Laron and Brother Earth know that in just a moment we will bring you on so that you can also speak to what the proverb is today. We are discussing an amazing proverb from, Hausa in northern Nigeria. It says, by crawling, a child learns how to stand. And my special guest today is Celine Brozovic, who is an amazing leader. We are just about to dive deep into the exact work that Celine is doing, in terms of being, a lifestyle, and, a lifestyle, and healthy eating, leader. And she runs a company that, helps people with that. But really, she has vast experience, over 25 years of working in the telecommunications and IT field. But also, she's just a motivator. She's someone that when you spend a few minutes with her, listening to her, I have to say that we originally met on Clubhouse, but we both come from Seattle. So it's just been wonderful connecting with you. And my mother is also called Celine. And around the time that I connected with, Celine Brozovic, who is my guest today, I was also just dealing with the passing of my mother, and I was in the mourning period. So it was just exciting for me to connect with you. But then I learned some of the work that you're doing in regards to encouraging our people to eat right and giving people resources to remember our own African diet too, because once we move to the diaspora, we always forget that some of the food that we eat are superfoods, but we forget about them once we move over here because we don't have access to all these foods and where we can get them and how we can cook them. So I'm really excited to just hear about what is it that makes you proud of the work that you're doing now. So how did you start, and how is it going? Let's talk about that.
But I want to correct something from the get go. It is not just the food. It's the entire lifestyle. So let me share with you my experience. I was working in corporate America. I was the director for customer success for one of the Fortune 10 company, 77,000 employees. I had a job that I love. I love that job. It was great, perfect, the right combination of everything that I wanted. I was working day in, day out. I was not sleeping very well. I had a corporate credit card, so I was traveling and, of course, eating out very often, and in the office for networking. You constantly having lunch outside, so not eating properly. And when I say I was working long hours, I was really working long hours. Of course, I stopped exercising, and my husband didn't divorce me from what how I was living that life. It's a blessing. And what has to happen happened. I collapsed. high blood pressure, high cholesterol. And oh, by the way, my numbers are on my chart, and I am always so proud to print them and share it with people. So high blood pressure, high cholesterol. I gained weight, went from my normal size 6'8" to size 16, 18. And depression took over, and I collapsed. I couldn't function anymore. Couldn't function anymore. Was useless to anybody. Was spending all my time in the bed. It was really, really, really bad. So I went to see the doctor, and he wanted to put me on high blood pressure medication. And I look at him and I'm like, "You must be kidding me. We have to find another answer. Why you must be kidding me? You must be kidding me because they put my mother on high blood pressure medication for 40 plus years. What is it that cannot be treated once and for all, and that has to be treated where you have to take chemicals your entire life?" So when I came home, I knew I had to find some answers that were not related to chemical. And I realized that it's really by accident that I found something called lifestyle medicine. Lifestyle medicine is a branch of science, a branch of medicine. So let me repeat it. It's a branch of medicine. It is scientifically proven, evidence based. Okay. And as of now, actually, I could teach a program with a medical doctor in one of the big hospital in the Everett area here. So it is not voodoo, whatever it is. So what is lifestyle medicine? Lifestyle medicine says that if you manage all the aspect of your lifestyle, what you choose, and I'm going to list them one by one, what you choose to put in your mouth, this is the nutritions. So in terms of food, alcohol, drugs, tobacco, medications, okay, even gossips, I tell some people sometimes. What you choose to put in your mind, the second pillar, in terms of how are you managing your stress? How are you relaxing? Number three, what are you doing with your body? Are you exercising? Are you sleeping? Are you going outside to have access to the sun when you have it? So this is the third pillar. What do you know what your life purpose is? Your life purpose is the fourth pillar. And the big pillar is your relationship with yourself and your relationship with others in terms of compassion and self compassion, including forgiveness. You can eat all the clean, wonderful foods. You can exercise all you want. But if you are not forgiving, you are poisoning yourself every single day. And then the final pillar is the environment you live in. Do you live in an environment that is healthy, that is not polluted by noise or chemically polluted? Do you have access to beautiful surroundings like we do in the Pacific Northwest, where I can go for a walk, have access to the water, I can have access to mountains, I can go snowshoeing during the winter, and even go for a walk. And every time I go for a walk, I can see trees, and trees by themselves have life in them that they share when you look at them and when you walk by them. So by managing all of those aspects of your lifestyle in partnership with your medical doctor, I'm repeating it again. You do that in partnership with your medical doctor, you are going to prevent and or reverse all the chronic diseases: diabetes, type 2, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, certain form of cancer, obesity, depression. It's going to help. Look at me. Do I look like somebody who was down flat on my stomach? I woke up like an hour ago, but I haven't had anything to drink yet. I'll have my glass of water in a few. I don't need coffee to get my energy. I get my energy through managing all those aspects of my lifestyle. So this is what I do. And this is why it's so beautiful that we're starting at the beginning of the new year by talking to people that, yes, you can do something about your health, your mental and your physical health, and you are in control with that. And if you take small steps, like Simon said, if you learn from experience, in this case, you're going to learn from my personal experience, the experiences of my customers, and the experiences of all of those people who have been to those scientific studies. And if you persevere day in and day out, you are going to have the results that you deserve. Remember, voilà. Anyway, I'm going to stop here because we can talk about weight loss and a whole bunch of things. But this is in a nutshell my
Yeah.
experience and what led me to the work that I do.
Right. Lifestyle medicine. It's incredible because I'm hearing this term for the first time, and I really feel that I live by this philosophy of let your food be your medicine, but also you've now added a few things to it that are so critical that I think I do them, but I don't do them so intentionally. What you consume mentally is so critical to your well-being, and it's of course scientifically proven. What you see with your eyes is so critical, and it's needed. Get out and enjoy nature, and make sure you get some of the vitamin D from the sun. How you relax, is so important. So one thing that you mentioned, Celine, that just stood out so much for me is about forgiving, and how poisonous it is to not forgive yourself, but also forgiving others, because, just keeping everything inside does not do anybody any good, This is an incredible conversation. Celine, I want you to also talk about, the collaboration that we are having, where you will be coming back, for other multiple conversations with me around lifestyle medicine. And also, one of the reasons why I really admire what you're doing is, if you go out there, and I know you have access to data because you are involved with the healthcare system, you find that a lot of our people, the African immigrant community, is dealing with this exact situation that you're talking about. A lot of people just want to work hard to build a house in Africa that they're probably not living in, and they then become sick here. I've found situations of even elderly women from Africa are dying here, but they are not taking care of themselves. They are always sending money back home. A lot of them don't even know where Seattle is, but they live just, maybe an hour away from Seattle. They've lived here for like 6 years. And the only thing that brings them to Seattle is when they're in an ambulance being taken to Aberview, And so I just love that this is what you've dedicated your life to change this story, so that even if we are building Africa by working hard here in the diaspora and sending money home, we're also taking care of ourselves, so that we can live long enough to enjoy this wealth that we are building, So sprinkle some of the topics that we'll be talking about over the next few weeks, and then I will bring on some of our friends who have joined us to also contribute to our conversation.
Thank you very much, Simon. You raised some interesting points. I even have one of my marketing material is uh, risk management. So here you are when we work in corporate America, we usually have somebody to do disaster recovery and managing risk. And in that disaster recovery program, we don't put ourselves in there. I have a customer in the Ivory Coast. I have chased this woman for a long time to say, you have to take care of yourself. You have to come and learn and bring your employees. She's like, Celine, I don't have time, until she got sick and her numbers. And she called me. She's like, wow, now I understand. Because when I'm looking at my numbers, immediately I cannot work. I cannot focus on leading my people. So now she's having her employees, she's enrolled her employees into my program so that they learn how to change their lifestyle and all. So throughout, and like you said, I have made it my mission. I am going to talk to anybody who wants to listen to me in French, in English, even in my mother's native tongue, that, our health, we have only one health, we have only one life. And it is not too late. We can do something about it. And by the way, let me give you something quickly. I was at a party. This lady was telling me, "Oh, I am taking spirulina and it's good and stuff like that. It cleans the body and all." And then what she was serving for people to eat was junk. I'm like, "Duh. There is no magic formula. There is not." So the one takeaway for today is, remember, there is no magic food. There is not a single food out there that is going to help you take care of losing weight, take care of losing of high blood pressure, or of a whole bunch of things. It is the combination of your entire lifestyle. So for the next couple of weeks, we will be talking about nutrition, and what it's based on, that whole food, plant-based nutrition. We'll be talking about strategies for changing that lifestyle. We'll be talking about exercise. We'll be talking about forgiveness. We'll be talking about your life purpose. We'll be talking about the environment. We'll be talking about, what do you do for fun. We'll be talking about, we talked about forgiveness, and we'll be talking every day about it. If you haven't forgiven yourself and other people, go and start working on it. It is easy said than done. That's why we'll talk about that, and we will share together techniques for how do we forgive. So yeah, it's going to be a series, and small little tiny steps. And I usually, when we get started, people want to talk about the food, which is very important. But gently, I'll remind people it is not just the food. Everything is kind of linked together. The food plays a big, massive role, but all the other pillars of your lifestyles, they also play a role in there. Did I answer that question? I
You
have a
did.
tendency to pick it and go all over, all over,
Yeah.
because it is a vast subject.
Yeah.
But did I answer that question?
You did. You did very well, very well. And I see that we've been joined by quite a few friends on YouTube. Thank you again. Make sure you give this video a thumbs up. Make sure you comment so that we know that you are here. And also share the video if there's something you're hearing from Celine that is inspiring to you. Make sure you share the video. But on Clubhouse, I just want to start with you, Simply E. You've been an incredible supporter of this show for years now. And especially on Wednesdays, we've had poetry sessions on Wednesdays where we've hosted Chioma, Cherie, who is an incredible writer and creator. But this year, she's not going to be available. She had some changes in life that has not made it possible for her to join us consistently. And so simply I'll reach out to you and see if I can convince you to be more involved. But for now, I just want to create space for you to talk about, today's proverb, and also, share your thoughts in regards to the conversation we are having with Celine Brozovic, who is my special guest today. So take it away, Simply.
Wow. The first thing I wanted to say was, wow, Celine, I know that this that your presence today and what you're speaking about is going to start a lot of conversations. I'm very interested to hear a lot about what you have to say, even more. So I just wanted to say thank you for being here and already giving quite a bit of tidbits and some great encouragement. Um, as far as the proverb today, by crawling a child learns how to stand. A lot of times we think about great accomplishments, right? And that's the only thing we want to talk about. We don't want to talk about how we got there, or even think about how we got there. But it's so important to remember that those small accomplishments lead up to big ones. And quite often we don't celebrate the small things. And so crawling is very fundamental to being able to stand and then going forth to be able to walk. So those small things that we do day to day to reach a goal are so important. And even if we have small celebrations, it's important to remember that those small things that we do are so, so, so important to reaching the big goals. And those are my thoughts today regarding crawling. By crawling, a child learns how to stand. Thank you, Simon.
Thank you so much, Simply E. Let's go to quickly Stella, Brother Earth and Laron. We are coming to you. Stella is part of the One Vibe team, and she makes this show possible in many ways, along with Lavender and our other team members. Stella, briefly share with us where you're joining us from, what today's proverb means to you, and also if you have any comment to Celine, who is our special guest, feel free. But also if you have some other announcements or anything I might be forgetting, go ahead and speak to it.
Thank you, Simon. Hello, everyone. This is Stella from Kenya, and I'm so glad that Celine joined us today because what she's talking about is something I've been talking about, and at some point I felt that people were finding it crazy to tell them that they should just eat, they should watch what they eat, and I remember at some point, I think uh, late 2021. I was raising a concern in a parents' WhatsApp group. There was like a birthday celebration in school, like almost every day. And you'd find that during that time, children were given a lot of sugar, the cakes, the biscuits, juice. And so every day I had to deal with the sick child because they were always coughing. And I raised it in the parents' WhatsApp group, and I was trying to ask them to avoid celebrating birthdays at school because it was affecting my child in a bad way. And I remember one of the parents was telling me that if we start avoiding food, then we'll avoid everything. And I responded and told her that there's a lot of food that is so healthy that we can eat. And by avoiding the sugary stuff, that is the cakes and all that, it doesn't mean that we are going to avoid eating everything. And at some point, some people started supporting me, and finally, they like removed those celebrations from school. So parents would just celebrate at home. Yeah, so I'm so happy that you are talking about, you're calling it lifestyle medication. I've been calling it lifestyle modification. The exercise, living healthy, drinking water. And even recently, I was talking to one of my grandmothers back at home. She was complaining a lot of how she was sick and all that. So I asked her one question, if she drinks water, and she was telling me she doesn't like water. So I was like, then that is the root cause of your problems, because you have to drink water to help your kidneys and all that stuff. And she was finding it so, I would say, weird. But I'm really glad that you're talking about it, and I'm definitely going to connect with you so that I can learn more from you as well. On to today's proverb, which talks about crawling. By crawling, a child learns how to stand. I agree with Simply E that sometimes we are so focused on big things and we don't even appreciate the little that we've achieved so far. And that's something I do a lot. Sometimes I find myself too hard on myself because I'm feeling that I've not achieved whatever I was planning to achieve. But usually when I go back and look at the steps and even my journey, find that there's a lot to be grateful for. So I also believe that this proverb is trying to teach us about gratitude and how it is important to appreciate every step of the way. Otherwise, thank you very much, and I'm so happy to be here today.
Excellent. Thank you again, Stella. Let's quickly move to Brother Earth. Share with us where you're joining us from, what today's proverb from Hausa means to you, and then we'll go on to Laron and Jermaine. And then Celine, keep listening and taking notes because I'll ask you to summarize everything everyone has shared with us. But I see that we have a number of friends on YouTube. Thank you for joining us there, and make sure you comment on this video and give this video a thumbs up. That goes a long way. I want to quickly give a shout out to Mala, Happy New Year, and Kesiwa, and Walter Koga, and Rutimi, Roki, Net, everyone who is joining us and just listening in. You are deeply, deeply appreciated. Go ahead, Brother Earth. Thank you so much.
Gratitude, family. Greetings, peace, and love. This is Brother Irv. I'm coming from the North Carolina territory. And another beautiful conversation as always, Simon. And a few of the things that stuck with me, the first thing was when she hit about the forgiveness and how we when we hold on to this, it's actually poisoning us. And I had learned that lesson a while back. I had an issue I was dealing with, and I called a radio station because they had a question on there talking about that, and I was gonna ask them, is it a reason where a child or a person shouldn't forgive their parent? So when I got to talk to the dude that worked for the radio station, he was like, well, to be honest with you, when you forgive somebody, it's not for the other person, it's for you. So you're not harboring or carrying all that negative energy around you. And that was the first time I heard that concept. And I was, it made me mindful into letting go of that negative energy and not toting it around with me so often. So that's that point. The second point was um, the lady the lady was speaking. She said something very beautiful. Pardon herself, I missed her name. But about processed, fake healthy food, and because health is so important that you're dealing with this so far this year, Simon. It's important that we get healthy, mentally and physically, and because it's true that health is our wealth. And in the process of trying to get healthy, I had a friend that was called themselves going vegan, and they was going to the grocery store getting plant-based bologna, plant-based ground beef crumbs, and all this stuff. I said, what is plant-based bologna? I said it's probably the same binding agent as the other stuff, and it clogs you up just the same. Anyway, it is important that we learn the difference between real food and processed food because a lot of people really don't understand. And to make it a lifestyle is important because so oftentimes, a person think they can go on a 30, 60-day diet and that's going to change their life when in actuality, to keep it from going forward in your life, really have to change your whole lifestyle. And that's why that's so beautiful what she's bringing forward. And the speak to the proverb, by crawling a child learns how to stand. And when I hear that, what it makes me think of is, the things we do today, it manifests in our lives tomorrow, and depending on what we're doing today, whether it benefits us or it's to our detriment. And I'll park my plane right there. It's Brother Earth. Peace and love, family.
Peace and love to you, Brother Earth. I love everything you shared, and thank you for always dropping in so much wisdom every day. You're one of the most consistent supporters of this show. Laron, thank you again for being here. Happy New Year. Share with us your perspective and where you're joining us from.
Hey, Happy New Year. I am in Columbus, Ohio. So that's where I'm calling in from. So the proverb to me means just be careful, watch what you eat, watch what you listen to, watch what you say. Don't put a lot of damaging, negative stuff in your head because it can really mess you up. So you have to learn to avoid negativity as much as possible. Just try to be more positive. It's a brand new year, so I want to try to read more, meditate more, and I got an African Proverbs app on my phone, so I read that every day. So that's some things I'm just trying to work on for the new year.
Yeah, that's beautiful. I love that. Just having the tools that you need that can help you continue thriving is really, really important. Jermaine, how are you doing? Happy New Year. Share with us where you are and what today's proverb means to you.
Hey, greetings everyone. I am Jermaine. I'm located. I'm calling from connecting through Clubhouse from Kingston, Jamaica. I just want to bless up everyone, all the speakers, everyone who's listening on YouTube. I just want to give and wish everyone a happy 2023. I want to wish you, Simon, happy belated birthday. I believe your birthday was on the 29th. I'm not sure, but I would have forgotten to give you a shout out direct message on Twitter. But more life, more joy to you and your family, and just more strength and support going forward in 2023. And the podcast, to everyone who is hearing my voice, keep supporting the podcast. It is positive, and it's good that it can be replicated over and listened to several times on YouTube. And I'm sure there's many more, places where you can find it. Simon, please shout out, where the podcast can be accessed, all the platforms where you are present. So the proverb, talk about a child. Simon, could you kindly repeat the proverb?
Yes, of course. Thank you. It says that by crawling, a child learns how to stand. It's from Hausa in northern Nigeria.
Right. I wanted to get the word for word. So I immediately think about just, steps and process stages that, people take in their life, that start the journey, that to me, it is what coming out from this proverb, is maybe not, a philosophical or complicated answer, but that is just how I'm seeing it. Like someone once told me that I should take the first step. The first step, is the journey. Let's start the journey of 1,000 miles. And I recently learned that we shouldn't always look at the results, but the process. And the process, you must start something. And that it's amazing. Just imagine a child, moving for the first time. And keep moving, because this once was a baby that was it would only move when its parents or its guardian moves it, lift it up, turn it around and it's back, for months, days, put it on its stomach, taking it for sun, taking it for bath. And then, once you see this child start to go on all fours, and start to crawl around, I'm sure Simon, you who is a daughter of daughters, a father of two daughters, that was an amazing sight, to behold, this once helpless baby, learning how to move on all fours and knees and palms, and then later standing up and walking and on 2 feet, 2 feet or 2 foot and 2 feet, I should say. So it's amazing, and it's all to me is just to start something. We say we're in a new year, so just start. Just start anything you want to do, anything you got to do. Just start it, because you never know where it will lead you. So that is just my view. Give thanks, Simon, for the space again, and all the best.
Thank you so much, my brother. I deeply appreciate you for everything and for the birthday wishes as well. Jay, how are you doing? Where are you joining us from? Thank you for all the help behind the scene. This year, we're actually planning to do a lot of in-person recording of the African Father in America podcast, starting with Seattle and also other parts of the world. So, Jay has been helping me a lot with that. So I appreciate you. Go ahead and share your thoughts on the proverb and also any comments in regards to the conversation with Celine. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. I'm in the Pacific Northwest. I'm in Seattle, so it's the morning for me. And I'm just so happy that I was able to get on Clubhouse and see that you've started the room again. I was really happy about that. And I think about with the proverb, Simon, that how you started crawling. Really, you were completely unfamiliar with podcasts, completely unfamiliar. And I just saw the stages that you went through. You did the work. You learned what you needed to learn. And that applies to everyone in this room. That crawling is that you can start off running thinking that you got it, you get it, you understand it, you know what you're doing, and you fall flat on your face because you haven't done the work, you haven't done the homework, you don't have the information, you don't have the knowledge, you don't have the experience. Your mind hasn't been strengthened, just like a baby's crawling. You have to have the strength to be able to walk, and you have to start off slow so that when you do start walking in the direction that your passion is taking you, that you are prepared and you know what you're doing and you're steady. So that's just how I saw this proverb. Whatever you choose to do in life, and you need to prepare yourself to make sure that you are successful and that you can accomplish those goals. Thank you so much for allowing me to speak, and blessings to everyone in 2023, that you prepare your mind, that you gain the knowledge and the experience to accomplish whatever it is that you hope to achieve in 2023, and you stay the course. Take care.
Excellent. Thank you again, Jay. I deeply appreciate everything you just said. Now, I want to ask you, Celine, to just recap some of the things that moved you from our guests who just contributed, and then share with us how we can stay connected with you, how we can access some of the lifestyle medicine work that you're doing. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Simon. Wow, recapping all of those buckets of gems. It's not going to be very easy. I'll try it. Somebody said, health is your wealth. Health is your wealth. We should all write that on everywhere and remember that health is our wealth. You're not healthy, you're not going to be wealthy. And start paying American medical bills, you know what we're talking about. And the last uh, a person saying, before undertaking any major endeavor, prepare oneself. That's the walk, the crawling before going, because as part of the crawling, you're going to learn what is required for the big things that you want to do. That was powerful. And we also learn that we have to learn to celebrate our achievement as we go, as we get them. The small achievement, we have to celebrate them as we go. And the eat whole food, not processed food. That person and I have the same motto when it comes to how we eat. So it's very, very important. And the person sharing on forgiveness, this was powerful, saying, when you forgive, you are not forgiving for the other person. You are not doing a favor to the other person. You are actually helping yourself. Oh boy, we'll be talking more and more about that. That was great. And on the proverb, what we do today manifests in our lives tomorrow. If we refuse to crawl as a baby, we won't be able to walk. Let me repeat that one there. What we do today manifests in our lives tomorrow. It's an investment. So let's learn to crawl, to take those small steps in before we go for the big jump. And somebody else said, what that proverb, crawlings before walking, remind him of the process where you have to cut it in small pieces and take the first steps and then the second and the third and the big steps later. That was beautiful. And the person who shared about getting successful at raising the awareness on white sugar, the processed food that are loaded in those birthday cakes that we give to our children. Unfortunately, they got rid of the celebration of the birthdays. I would have loved to say we agree to keep the celebration because it's good to celebrate children and their birthdays, but we got rid of the processed food and the cake. So hopefully they'll bring it back and say we can celebrate without cake. And the final thought is what again Simon started by saying, crawling before walking means three things: taking small steps, learning from experience, your own and other people's experiences, and persevering. This is for me the summary of what has been said today. And to finalize it is, your health is your wealth. And when it comes to that health, you are in control. And by managing that health, we have something called lifestyle medicine, which is a branch of medicine, scientifically proven, evidence based. We are having doctors who are now specializing or being accredited to be lifestyle medicine doctors. And it is something that you can do yourself starting today. So today, your homework is the following. Think of the proverb and start celebrating yourself. Start practicing gratitude and take things small steps at a time to build up to where you want to go.
Excellent. Thank you, Celine. I want to make sure you share with us how we can stay connected with you, because we have a lot of brothers and sisters listening in, and I want to make sure they can reach you as needed.
So here is my name, Celine Brozovic. Type that one there into any Google or any search engine. It will bring you my LinkedIn, my website, everything. Celine Brozovic. Just like that. And if you want a website, it comes with a story. Usually, when people say, "Yes, Celine, how do we do that?" And in the enterprises, like everybody wants to have a healthy lifestyle, but they're struggling with the how. I make the how my specialty, and the website is from how to wow. Because when you go through my process, you go, wow, it's great. So from how to wow, and two is number 2, wow.com. You find me.
That's beautiful. I have to say that, I've been living here in the diaspora since 2010, and meeting you has been quite exciting. And also, I've met quite a few African women here in the diaspora that are doing amazing work, running amazing organizations, amazing companies, amazing restaurants. Their stories are not just being told. So just being here with you today is a historic moment for me, and we need to really elevate more of our wonderful African queens like you, because if we don't do that, then who else will? So thank you again for making the time and waking up so early to make this possible. And thank you to our friends and family who are listening in on Clubhouse and on YouTube as well. The last few things I would love for you to do is just comment on this video if you're on YouTube. And even if you're not on YouTube, just take a minute. Go to YouTube, comment on today's video, and just share with me how today's conversation made you feel. If all of you could go there and comment on YouTube, I would deeply appreciate it. The link is at the top of the room. And tomorrow we will be here again, 6 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, right here on Clubhouse and YouTube. And we will continue building and documenting these beautiful African proverbs. With that, Celine, I will see you very soon. And all of you, take great care of yourselves. Peace and love.
African father in America. Tujikaze, tujikaze, jikaze. Tujikaze, tujikaze, jikaze. Africa, tujikaze, tujikaze, jikaze. America. Tujikaze, tujikaze, jikaze. You are listening to African Father in America podcast by Simon Javan Okello, live from Seattle, Washington, USA.